The Community Dispute Resolution Center of Missoula County presents Resolving Conflict Through Mediation. Mediation is a collaborative process that encourages people to communicate freely about problems or disputes in a safe environment and work together to find solutions that meet their particular needs. A mediator is a neutral third party who guides the negotiation process. The mediator does not make any decisions for the parties. This is the story of a dispute that started with a misunderstanding between neighbors, evolved into a case in the Justice Court, and was ordered to mediation. The pretrial hearing.
Hello? Okay, send them in. Thank you. Good morning, Athena Smith.
Good morning, yes.
Please have a seat in the plaintiff's table. And Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Good morning. Please have a seat at the defendant's table. Thank you for coming in today. Thank you for being on time. So my name is Judge Warzek, and this is a time set for a pretrial. What we do at a pretrial is we determine if the two of you are ready to go to trial, and we determine if there's any pretrial issues we need to talk about. And we also set a mandatory mediation, which you're both required to go to. I'm not there, but it's court ordered. So I'm going to start by asking the plaintiff a few questions. Do you have everything you need to go to trial?
Yeah, I've got everything I need. I mean, he didn't pay for the fence. He said he was going to pay for the fence.
Well,
and
I didn't say I was going to pay.
You said you.
Excuse me. At this point in time, the debate isn't between you anymore. It's about you and the court. And so any type of interaction that we have, you're gonna have with me rather than with each other. Okay, and the time will come a little bit later on where you can interact with each other in mediation, which is a good place to try to settle your issues. But now's not the time to have an argument. Okay, now's the time just to do some scheduling and find out where we're going on this case. Okay, so I'll start with questions to the plaintiff. Do you have all the documents that you need to go to the trial?
Yeah.
Okay, and you've got your witness list and your exhibit list? Mm-hmm. Okay, and you may present that to the court. You may approach. Okay, so this is your witness and exhibit list, and this looks good. And these are the exhibits or the documents that you want to try to introduce into evidence during the trial? Okay, so the court doesn't need these right now.
Oh,
okay. However, the defendant does need them. Do you have an extra copy for him?
I don't.
Okay, and do you have a copy of the witness and exhibit list that you just gave me for him?
I don't.
Okay, so you need to get a copy of the witness and exhibit list and the documents that you want to introduce as exhibits to him. If you can mail that to him by tomorrow.
Okay.
Do you have his mailing address?
I do.
Okay, great. All right. You may be seated. And Mr. Jones, do you have a witness and exhibit list?
I don't know.
You don't? Okay. Are you going to testify yourself in the case?
Yes.
And do you have any documents that you want to introduce?
No. Just
okay.
Yeah, we didn't have a formal agreement.
And so you're aware of what he's going to be testifying to, basically?
Well, I mean, in general, basically, he didn't. Yeah, he didn't pay. Yeah, and he says he didn't have to pay. So.
Okay.
I have a general idea.
Okay. So he doesn't need to submit a witness and exhibit list since he's just going to testify himself as a defendant.
Okay.
And he doesn't have any exhibits. That's right.
Right.
Okay, good. Because if you don't put her on notice for any exhibits, you won't be able to get any exhibits in at the trial.
Okay.
Okay. Very good. And that's what pretrials are for, is to put everybody on notice of this is what my case is going to be, this is what my case is going to be, this is what I'm going to admit as evidence in my case, this is what I'm going to admit as evidence in my case. The court gets all the information, and then the court makes a decision as to which facts, as the court determines, are to be true. And then the court applies the law and makes a decision. That's giving all the control to the court. You might want to have a little bit of control with the mediation process. And in this court, every case that comes before this court goes to mediation. So mediation is court-ordered. It's required that you go. If the plaintiff doesn't go, the case gets dismissed. You cannot file it again. The case is over with. Okay, there's huge penalty for it. If the defendant doesn't attend mediation, she gets judgment in full, which means she gets everything that she asked for in the complaint, and you don't get a chance to tell your side of the story. And the trial gets canceled. Okay, so there's huge penalties for not going to mediation. So I order it, but you're the ones who have to go. So I want to know what your schedule looks like. Do you want to have this mediation sooner or later?
Oh, soon.
Okay,
Yeah,
soon. Like next week?
I can do next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have Tuesday and Wednesday available next week, either in the morning or in the afternoon. Do you have any preference?
Yeah, definitely Tuesday morning.
Tuesday morning?
Mhm.
Okay.
Works for me.
Works for you?
Yes.
We have mediation at, we have one slot available at 9:30 and one at 10:30. Which do you prefer?
9:30 works for me.
9:30.
9:30?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I'm going to fill out a court order for the two of you. It talks about mediation. I want you to read it because it has some important information in it. And I'm going to present the court order to you in court today before you leave, so I don't have to mail it out.
Okay.
All right? So we decided on Tuesday, next Tuesday at, was it 9:30?
9:30.
9:30? Okay, 9:30 a.m. Now, of course, if your mediation doesn't work, I'm here for the trial. All right, and so we've got the witness and exhibit list is due to the defendant. You're going to mail it tomorrow?
Right.
Okay, very good. And then the mediation is Tuesday at 9:30. And Ms. Smith, if you would approach, and I have your court order. Okay, there you go.
Thank you.
And Mr. Jones, have your court order for mediation. Okay, there you go.
Thank you.
Okay. And like I said before, if mediation doesn't work out, we'll set a trial. My clerk will notify you both by mail, and we'll set a trial date. And are there any questions?
No.
Oh, there is something.
Okay.
Will I be able to bring my witnesses to the mediation?
No, witnesses are not allowed at mediation. The mediation is a private settlement conference between the two of you to decide if you can settle this case on your own.
And I guess I did have one thing,
Yes.
just to make sure. You said if I miss the mediation and I plan to be there, that then there's a full judgment or a judgment in full?
A judgment in full. The plaintiff gets everything that she asked for in the complaint. If you're not there and there isn't a sufficient excuse for the court, then judgment will be entered against you in full, which means the plaintiff gets everything that she's asked for.
Okay.
So you've told me your schedule is open. You've told me you're going to be there at 9:30 in the morning. But if something happens where your wife goes into labor, you call the clerk and say, I'm at the hospital and I can't make mediation, and we'll be glad to reschedule it for you. But it needs to be quite an extraordinary thing to not show up to court.
Right.
Okay. And you do need to notify us beforehand, because if you don't, the judgment is entered for one or the other of you. Anything else you can think of right now?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being civil people. You seem like reasonable people that may be able to settle this, and that's great. But again, I'm here if you need a trial.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much. We're adjourned.
The mediation.
Hello. It's nice that you could both make it. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
My name is Dave, and this is Carol. We're volunteers with the Community Dispute Resolution Center of Missoula County. Mm-hmm. Have either of you done mediation before?
Once a long time ago, I think I did something like this, yeah.
I have not. This is my first time.
Okay, well, we have an introduction that we go through, and then at the end of that, if you have any questions, why, let us know before we get going.
Okay.
Just to help me out, your names are, I'll write them down so I don't forget them. Your
Athena.
Athena? Okay.
My name is Chris.
And Chris. Okay. Thank you very much. Mediation is the use of third parties, namely Carol and I, in order to facilitate a discussion. That's the main point. It's to allow you to reach a decision. Any decision reached has to be agreed to by both of you. We are guides. We're totally neutral. We are impartial. And we're not judges. So the point here is not to try to prove your case to us, but rather to seek a solution to whatever the issue is. Any decision, as I said, must be mutual and it must be agreed by both of you, or we don't have an agreement. We probably will at some point split into private meetings. Both of us will meet with one of you and then with the other of you. That will be totally confidential. Anything that's said in there won't be revealed unless you authorize it. So it's totally up to you whether or not anything that you say is repeated to the other side. We begin by having each side explain the situation, what it is that's led you to be here today, usually starting with the plaintiff. Carol, do you have anything you would like to add?
Yes, what we ask of you, the rules we ask of you, is that you both be good listeners. Try to not to interrupt each other when you're talking. If you have a point that you want to bring up and the other person's talking, write it down and then you can bring it up later. Try not to do any button pushing, making the other person angry. And really, we really want you to just give it your best effort and be good listeners.
Okay.
Great.
Do you have any questions?
Athena, would you like to start?
Well, I mean, I could just tell you what, what prompted me to file against Chris. We've been neighbors for a really long time, and we've never had any problems. I don't know how this, kind of turned out this way, but so we're neighbors. We live right next door to each other, and we have this fence. And it's just fallen into terrible disrepair. It was unsafe and that sort of thing. So I approached Chris one day. I told him that I thought we needed to replace the fence, and he agreed that it was a good idea to replace the fence. And I got a bid, and when I tried to show Chris the bid, he was busy and didn't have time. So the way he kind of approached it, I just assumed it was okay to go ahead. So I had the fence built, and it looks great. And well, they had to adjust a little bit of something. There was some issue with some piping, something I don't really understand. But anyway, they had to make some very minor modifications to the original fence line. So we went ahead with it, and the fence looks great. And when Chris mentioned it, he noticed it, and he asked me about it, or he said, that's great, I'm so glad you got the fence. And I said, yeah, let's talk about your contribution. And I was just shocked. He was so angry. He was so angry when I asked for his contribution that, I just kind of turned away and really didn't know what to do. So I did make another attempt or two, I think, as I recall, to kind of, see if I could get him to cooperate with me, but he didn't. So that's why I filed the lawsuit.
And how much money are you asking for?
Well, the fence ran about $2,000. So, it just seems fair. We're property owners on the same block, sharing this, this fence, that he should pay half. He and his wife should pay half. They have the same benefit from the fence that I do.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Do you have anything else to add?
No, not right now. It's really upsetting, it's just an upsetting situation.
Can I ask you a question, if you don't mind? What's your relationship been with your neighbor over the years?
It's been great. It's been. I mean, he and his wife have just been so lovely to me all these years. They've, I really appreciate. I was really glad when they moved in, and right away they were always really, warm and very, very good relationship, yeah.
Have you interacted very much or over the years?
Yeah, we did. I mean, we've always, talked over the fence a lot and kind of shared, our lives, and Chris has helped me with some things around my house, and, I've baked cookies for them and that kind of thing,
What kind of things did he help you with around the house?
Oh gosh, I don't know. There was a light switch that was kind of, loose, and, he came over and fixed it, and, there was a banister that I was really worried about. I thought I might fall or something, and he came over right away to fix that. So, just over the years, little things like that he's been really thoughtful about. So.
Do you pay him for those things?
No, I did originally offer to pay, but he turned me down. He would never accept payment. So like I said, I would, bake cookies, or if I was making something really, really good, I'd make extra for them or something like that. No, he never accepted any payment. So, yeah.
When you talked to Chris about the fence, do you think he understood that you wanted him to pay for half? Do you think he understood that at the time?
Well, yeah, I do. I mean, I told him, I said, so, fence needs to be built, and, I think we should, get this done, and I'll let you know. I'll get a bid, and I'll let you know what your, contribution ought to be. So, I mean, there was that kind of a conversation. It wasn't, I didn't confirm each aspect or element of the conversation, but it sure seemed like he understood. Yeah.
So, Chris? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that, Athena summed it up pretty accurately. I'd like to say that I'm kind of sorry that we are in the situation we are in. We've had a great relationship, and I value our friendship, and it's too bad that it's come to this. And the fence was in need of repair, and I did agree with her when we spoke over the fence that we should fix it. The problem that I had with it was, well, two problems really. I never did officially see the bid, so I didn't really know how much money was involved. And the second problem was the timing of it. I don't have the money for this right now. I've got one young child and another one on the way, so I wasn't ready to be able to make that commitment now or even really in the near future. So that was really the issue there. And the fence does look great. The other thing is that as far as paying half, I don't know that that's necessarily fair. I think the orientation of the fence has been changed, so the frame side is now facing me, and she's got the fence side. And also, as she did indicate, it has been moved a few inches into my property too, which isn't a whole lot, but it definitely does take up space, extra space that I had before, and it's now gone. So I would have liked to have gone over those things before we went forward with the fence. And she's right, I was busy, so we weren't able to really hash that out before we went forward. But the fence wasn't going to fall over tomorrow. We could have had a couple extra days to at least talk about it and see the bid and discuss the terms of that fence and the terms of the payment as well.
And you said you were in a relationship. You guys have known each other how long?
It's been a while, I guess. 10 years, probably, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So you've been pretty good friends all those years too.
Right.
And so basically what I'm hearing is that there's some hurt feelings on both sides in terms of you understanding that he thought he was going to pay for it, and you didn't really actually say you were going to pay for it.
Exactly. Yeah, and like I said, there are some hurt feelings. I value the friendship, and we got along great. And as she said, I have fixed some things around our house, and she did offer to pay, but I thought, as a friendly neighbor, I wasn't going to accept that. I'm pretty handy. I could do those things relatively easy, and and also with the payment, I just can't make it happen right now. The timing is horrible. I've got a young child on the way, and we're excited about that, but it's just tough. Yeah.
That's really nice. Yeah.
So it sounds like you are interested, and you do feel some obligation in terms of the fence, and you are interested in trying to work things out. It just it's a tough time right now. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
It is a tough time, yeah, and you're right. And we are interested in helping because it is a nice new fence, and it's not going to fall over on my little toddler and the new one that's on the way and going to be out there and playing in no time. So, yeah, I would love to make it up to her somehow. I don't know that half the bill would be fair right now. Down the line, we could think of definitely some kind of compensation. I would be willing to do, handiwork maybe to work the debt off in the future.
Does that sound like something that you would be interested in?
Well, I mean, yeah, I suppose. He did say that he would pay for the fence, and I guess there are lots of, there are more ways than one, I suppose, to work out a payment. So, I don't know. I'm not saying yes right now, but, not saying no either. Yeah.
I don't know that I said I would pay for the fence. I said that we would discuss it, and I think in the future it is, it's something we need, and we could talk about some form of payment, but I don't know that we ever, did we agree on?
Yes, you did. You said that it was a great idea and that you were willing to pay. That's what I heard that you say, and that's why I moved forward. I mean, I was depending on that contribution.
You were depending on the contribution for?
Well, I mean, just that he would that he would live up to his word, just.
So it wasn't so much the money as that you had his word, and that meant more to you than the money.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's definitely, yeah. It's the money.
So I mean, I understand it is a principle thing, and you want some kind of compensation, and I think you should have some kind of compensation. I will reap the benefits of the fence as well, but half compensation, that full $1,000 is just, it can't happen right now.
Do you think we should call a caucus?
Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
So normally,
The caucus again?
a caucus is like a private meeting. We'll meet with one of you, and then while the other one waits outside, and then we'll meet with the other one, and then depending on how things go, we may or may not have other meetings. But,
Okay.
so normally, I guess we meet with the plaintiff first, if that's okay with everybody.
Sure.
So if you would mind
Step
stepping
out.
outside.
Sure.
Athena, thanks for meeting with us. In these meetings, the private meetings, we just kind of want to explore a little bit what you think about might be a solution to try to resolve this issue. You did say that you were interested in resolving it.
Yeah.
So do you have any ideas or thoughts about how we could do that?
Well, I mean, I think, again, I mean, the whole thing that got me to file the lawsuit is that it's a fence that we share. So I think that Chris and his wife should share the costs. So, that's I guess that's my point of departure, right? That's my beginning.
All right. Well, during the discussion, you did hear him indicate that he was willing to do something, but he has some issues in terms of money right now.
Yeah, I understand.
Is there any thoughts that you have that would help him out?
Well, I mean, that's kind of funny, because I've tried to pay him in the past for his work. So, and he hasn't accepted the money. So I guess at this point, I don't know. I'm imagining there's a way that we can kind of structure that, but I don't know what that would be. I mean, he's done all this stuff for me all along, at no charge. So I don't know. I suppose we could assign a value to certain tasks. I guess there's some more things I need done around the house. There's always something. So.
Is there a possibility, I don't know how much money he can come up with. It sounds like the finances are very tight in his family, and I don't know what your circumstances are in terms of the money. Does that make sense to you, that he is having a really hard time financially?
Yeah.
And you guys have been really good friends for a really long time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you, if you take this to court, the relationship is probably going to deteriorate even further.
I don't want that to happen at all. Not at all.
Yeah. And so basically, if we can come to a decision and a resolution here today, it would probably benefit both of you and the family that he's trying to raise right now.
Oh, yeah.
And your neighbor, as a really good friend.
Yeah. I mean, I do want to do that. That's really important to me. I mean, they've been great all these years. You know, they moved in, and you know, I'm alone, and you know, they've just been really nice neighbors and companions, and a really neat support. So,
What did you think when he indicated that you have the nicest side of the fence? Does that change in any way your thoughts about whether or not he should pay half, given the fact that the fence apparently is more finished on your side?
I suppose. I mean, I guess there's some, yeah, I mean, that makes a little sense, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, just from a practical standpoint, it sounds like you're willing to work with us to try to work something out. But what we kind of need now, just to kind of get the ball rolling, is some kind of a concrete offer maybe from you in terms of maybe how you want to split it, and if you do split it, a thought on how he might be able to pay you back.
right. Well, I mean, I don't know. I'd really like to help them out too, you know. I mean, I think I just don't like to have the feeling that I'm kind of being taken advantage of, or being, you know, like, you know, that things are sort of, you know, just not fair. Things to be, you know, clear and fair, and I do want to help them out too. So I just had a crazy thought. I don't know how crazy can you get with these things?
You can do it however you decide to do it, if you both agree on it.
Okay. I don't know if this is too crazy. But I was thinking, you know, they have the baby coming, you know, and they've got the little one, and I just wonder if there's some way I can make that a gift. If I could just, you know, but just sort of have him understand that it is something, that it's of, you know, like I'm almost. I don't want it to be like I'm just, you know, just backing down or something like that, because I think it's fair that neighbors share costs like that.
Is it possible that you could do, you know, a combination of saying, I know you have this new baby coming along, and I'd love to help you out with that as a gift, a part of it. The other part, you know, because we're sharing this fence, and to be fair, here's, you know, something that we might want to throw out there is that I need this done or this done. Would you agree to help me, you know, do that? And then I, you know, could gift you some of the other part of it?
That sounds like a great idea. I would do that. I mean, you know, I think there's some things that I need around the house that Chris can do. So, you know, I think that would work. I think that could work, as long as they get that, you know, that it's, you know, that it's our fence and it's a shared responsibility. But I think that's a way to make that work. Yeah.
Okay. We can talk to Chris, and maybe you can think about some of the things, because we're going to have something kind of written down specifically in terms of this is what I need you to do, and this is going to be how it's going to be repaid, and then we can, you know, write those things down, and so he can fulfill an obligation. Otherwise, it's just kind of like, you know, it doesn't have parameters unless we do.
Yeah, because I think that's the part that will really make me feel good about it. That'll make me feel really comfortable, because it's a real deal. You know, it's real, because, you know, the other part, like I said, the part that led me here was that I had a conversation with him that you know, where I thought he had agreed, and you know, I guess I just want to just at this point make it really clear. Okay. So, yeah.
So, as Carol said, if while we talk to him, you could maybe just take a piece of paper and write down some things.
Okay.
That would be really helpful, and then we can talk to you again and kind of put some parameters around what the deal might look like.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay.
See how
Thank
that
you very
goes.
much.
Yeah.
And then everything you said in here is confidential. Is there anything you would like us not to share with him that you've said here?
No, I mean, I think you could, you know, just, you know, using your discretion, whatever needs to be communicated. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
All right.
Great.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks for waiting, Chris. We were talking to Athena and trying to figure out how to get a resolution to this case. And basically what she was saying is that she would be amenable to gifting part of the $1,000 to you for the fence, and then having you work out, you know, on her property, some work for her for the other part. And what do you think about that?
Gifting, is there a certain amount, did she say, gifting? Meaning she wants me to pay part of it in cash and work off the other part and
No, no. Basically what she's saying is that the $1,000 is the half of what you owe, but she is going to gift you, basically what she said, because of your new child, part of that $1,000, and then the other part, which we haven't really decided on an amount yet, you will work for her and do things around her house for her, but we haven't really decided what that is yet. She's thinking about that now while we talk.
Oh, okay, gifting, sorry, yeah, I misinterpreted that word. Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I mean, first of all, I don't think she needs the cash. I know she's a wealthy widow, she has the money, so, and I do need the cash. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have the time, I'll be home with my baby, and I should be able to get out there and help her fix whatever else she needs in the future, you know? I'd love to discuss a certain amount of money that I would work off, and I don't see any problem with that. I mean, I still don't know that I would want to have that whole $1,000 in there. I think it would be, if she decided to gift me $400, then it would be, you know, I think less than $600 worth of work, because we've got the frame side of the fence, and she moved it 3 inches onto my property. But I do want to maintain this relationship with her, because I like her. Athena and we've gotten along for 10 years, and she's a great woman, and I don't want to ruin that. So,
you know, I think that's great, and it sounds like you're going to be able to work something out. I think it might be helpful, and I think she said we could go ahead and let you know some of the things she's thinking. So just so you kind of understand where she's coming from, because I think it'll be helpful, is it's kind of a matter of principle with her. She feels like you should have some obligation. I don't think that how much, as long as you acknowledge that you get some benefit from the fence and have some obligation, that I think she's going to be feel pretty good about the agreement we have. So maybe that'll just help you in terms of thinking about, you know, how something could be worked out.
I agree, 100%. I mean, I do have an obligation. I'm going to reap the benefit of the fence, and I would like to work it out with her. You know, we don't need to debate what was agreed upon and who said, you know, what when we talked over the fence that day. That's beyond us. We now have a nice fence, and yeah, let's move forward and try to reach a solution and hopefully, you know, mend any damage that we've done to our personal friendship relationship. So.
Okay.
Sounds good. Well, we can bring her back in then and maybe discuss the specifics of the agreement.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
You bet.
Okay, thanks for waiting, Athena. I think we do have an agreement here. We're just going to have to hammer out some of the details.
Okay.
And basically, when you were out there, did you have the list of the things that you wanted him to do that we can agree upon?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I kind of was just, you know, thinking about the whole house. You know, you walk in and the switch to the left, he already fixed the one to the right, but the switch to the left, it kind of worries me. It's a little bit loose. So anyway, light switch, and there's some issues in the kitchen. Do you want me to be specific at this point, don't you?
Well, we can write all those things down, as long as we agree on the amounts and the things that you're going to do, and we'll write it up and we'll have it in our stipulation, the things that you're going to do, and then we'll file it with the court.
Yeah, that sounds great. I'm really, really excited to be able to do this. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I think that's perfect. I don't, you know, the real issue was money out of my pocket, and I have no problem fixing up anything around your house, and I appreciate you gifting a little money.
That's great. I can't wait till the new baby comes.
That's
Awesome. Good job, you guys.
Well, that's great. Let's get to work on the details.
Okay, good.
Sounds good.
Okay. Well, we have worked out all the details, and we have an agreement, and you've both signed it. And so just the legal part of it is that it's going to be filed with the court, and it's enforceable by the judge, and if there's a problem, which I know there won't be, but if there's a problem, why, you both have the opportunity to go to court and get it resolved under the terms of the agreement.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
Not at all. This has been great.
Well, we really appreciate both you guys coming in today, and it's wonderful that you came to a resolution, and it's great that you don't have to go to trial. I'm really happy for you guys.
Absolutely. Thank you for your guys' time, and thanks, Athena. And I'm glad we worked it out and didn't have to get the lawyers involved. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
Great.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you all
Well, thanks
very
for
much.
coming in.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Because of the efforts of the volunteers at the Community Dispute Resolution Center, more than half of the cases referred to mediation successfully settle before a trial.
The CDRC provides trained mediators who mediate all civil cases in the Missoula County Justice Court and conduct parenting plan mediations for the District Court. We also provide facilitators for group meetings or negotiations and coordinate the monthly parenting orientation class in District Court. The CDRC provides periodic training in basic and advanced mediation in Missoula. We hope that some of you will attend our next training and join our corps of volunteers. You can visit our website at cdrcmissoula.org and email us at cdrcmissoula@gmail.com.